we were watching a program on TV the other night, and Joel was watching it, and along with Joan and I, and this young man and a young person, high school age person, because of certain peer pressures, deliberately disobeyed what his dad told him. A direct, if we was in the Army as or Navy or whatever, as some are going to be shortly, it's called a direct order. You do not disobey a direct order. If you do, the reason it's that way in the service is that in times of battle, you do not have time to decide whether it's a good order or a bad order. You are taught to obey the order. You don't try to figure out what, because you don't know how many men's lives are involved in a direct order. And so this father, in my estimation, gave a direct order to this son. But because of certain things that had happened during the day, you know how some people come up and they put you to the test. You aren't going to do that, are you? You're old enough now, you don't have to do what you got a mind of your own. You know how things happen? They treat me like a little kid. Well, that's what happened to him. And so he went against what his father told him. I told Joel before, I said, he's going to be in trouble. Something's going to happen, he's going to be hurt, someone's going to be hurt, he is in trouble. Because he definitely went against what his father had told him. Not saying that parents are always right and everything that they tell you to do is best, but that doesn't matter. They have spoken, and that is sufficient. For the most part, they have your well-being in mind, and what they say will not injure you in any way. But in Romans, I think the 16th, the last chapter, is that the 16th?
Yes, sir.
16th chapter. See if I can find it.
Is it 19?
Well, that's the one, but there's another one up above. I was wanting to see if I could find it here. I'm not sure whether I can. Okay. 17 says, "Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine or to the instruction which ye have learned or know. Avoid them." In other words, if someone gives you advice contrary to what those in authority over you have given, avoid it. Don't pay attention to it. It's just going to get you in trouble someplace down the way. Now, your mind, what Brother Morgan was speaking of here today, your mind is going to give you all sorts of reasons why you should. You're intelligent, you're of age, you've been at this job for 25 years, your boss is just new at it, all sorts of things. It didn't say here whether it was going to be best or anything like that. It says anything contrary to that, you avoid it. Just stay away from it. You're going to hear certain things about the church that you attend. Probably already have. Well, I tell you, if God is helping, if God is leading, if God is making a way, what more can we ask? Avoid that which is contrary. Don't make an argument out of it. Just say, well, we sure love you, and we're trying to do the best we can. And until God moves you, when God moves you, when God helps you, then you obey God. Live under God's authority. But stay away from what men try to. Most things that men try to tell you are very discouraging. Not too much uplift in it. We are most discouraging people. We do not have too positive of an attitude. We go around and see the bad side of everything rather than the bright side. But God has the bright side. God's promises are bright. They're helpful. They got a lot of sunshine in them. His promises are not. They don't put you down. They bring out the best in you. And so we're trusting. So avoid the things that are contrary to what you know. Children, avoid things, and young people, avoid things that go against what your parents tell you, what your principals say, what your ministers say. Avoid that. And you will avoid a lot of difficulty in your lifetime. The scripture that Jerry was referring to, the 19th verse, the bottom part of it, says that Paul says, I would have you wise unto that which is good, but simple to that is evil. In other words, all the evil things going along out here, you don't need to know about them. You don't need to know about them. You don't need to know about, what was you talking about, when they do something with your mind, hypnotism. You don't need to know about that. Stay away from it. It's evil. A lot of things going on out here are evil, and we don't need to know about them. We don't need to know what goes on behind those dark doors, and I wonder what that means and all that. We don't need to know about that. If we will be under the authority of God and let Him illuminate us, that's why we're really not illuminated people. That we aren't able to be illuminated in the Scriptures is because we have prevailed upon trying to find out too many things and not relying upon God to let Him to help us. So, kids, you don't need to know everything that's going on. Parents, you don't need to know everything that's going on. Brother Morgan, you don't need to know everything that's going on. Thomas, you don't need to know everything that's going on. Our mind wants to know everything that's going on. We're inquisitive. We want to get into it. We want to find out. We want to know about everything. And if it's good, if it's helpful, if it's uplifting, if it's encouraging, wonderful. But if it has the slightest taint of evil, or if it has a slightest smudge of not being wholesome and healthy and well-being, avoid it. If you can't see God in it, if you can't see Him in it any place, you just stay away from it. If you can't see God in it someplace, you stay away from it. Because I tell you, if God didn't want to get in it, I don't know why we want to be in it. But we do. You watch these commercials on TV, and they make them look so wonderful. Why, you want to jump off the boat and run into the bar, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, you do. I mean, you almost feel like you want to run along with them. But it's evil. It has the appearance of evil. Stay away from it. Avoid it. Paul says avoid it. Avoid that which is evil. Just be simple. You don't need to know about it. So I'm trusting that God will help us in these.